think as an owner of a Boerboel, this is what I recommend. The first year, I think it's important for you to be careful with excessive puppy play. You need to be mindful of their hips and their elbows and how much weight they put on and how fast they put it on. You can't do with the Boerboel puppy what you could normally do with a normal dog. For example, a pit bull puppy on this table. We would be like, come on, jump off of there. Don't be scared. Jump down off of that table. And he could do it and be fine. You don't necessarily want to be doing that with a Boerboel. You don't want to do that with a dog that's putting on a pound a day. So you want to be aware of that, and you want to be careful. You don't want to exert too much force on them. And I would do that for a year. I'd be aware of that for a year. I would be aware of a classic scenario, and I just had this scenario with a guy that I sold a dog to, and I must have told him this 20 times. Do not give your Boerboel regular dog toys that you give a regular dog. Okay, I tell them that over and over again. The Boerboel gets so big. Their bite force is so strong that they realize that the little toy, instead of playing around with it, they can just eat it, right? It doesn't take long for them to figure it out. I can swallow this thing, okay? And you're gonna have an issue. Chances are you're gonna have a blockage. I had a guy that just got a dog, okay? He bought a dog, left the dog with somebody to watch. The person didn't follow instructions, gave the dog a regular dog toy, and the puppy ate the toy, had a blockage. This guy was gone for a week. He drives trucks. Came back, the dog had lost a bunch of weight, wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, took it to the vet, the dog had a blockage. Yep, disaster. But I think those are some of the things you need to look for on the water.
You said something about when they're hot.
Oh, that's all large breed dogs. Yeah, if you're running around, if you got your dog out running around playing, I wouldn't give him any water or any food for at least an hour would be good. That's something that we never had an issue with growing up. All the dogs I've had, if the dog was running around with his tongue hanging out of his mouth, breathing and panting, you give him water, and they liked it, and it always worked out. You do that with a Boerboel, it causes blow, which is a twist in the stomach, okay? To the untrained eye, it's hard to recognize, and by the time you recognize something is obviously wrong, it's probably too late, right? So, yeah, I would avoid that. I wouldn't give them any food or water prior to doing any kind of strenuous workout type activity or after. So you don't want to give your dog, let him drink a bunch of water and then we're gonna go running, and you don't want to go running and then come back and say, all right, here you go, boy, here's your water. I'd let him chill for at least a half an hour would be great. Yep.